meeting in the near future, I don't know if you followed your email trains today.
I did see that.
So with the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, and the Board of Education.
Yes,
So these are some of the things we'll hash out.
of course.
Because if they're gonna need something, they better tell us now. And based on what's happened with their budget and their surplus from last year,
Sure.
have a nice day.
Well, it looks like they spent down most of that surplus.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Oh, we
that
know,
was-
oh, no, we know.
Yeah.
We found out, in writing Monday, we found out.
Yeah.
So it's great stuff.
I guess one more thing I'd like to say about that maintenance facility.
That's what I'm asking, yes.
Sorry, you found out. You didn't hear me, you weren't there Monday night, you didn't hear me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what's new with that.
Oh, not much. Well, everybody knows that me, Willie, Jack, and Phil Williams had a meeting, and we kind of let them off the hook a little bit, but I've done some, Butch and myself have done some more research, and they proposed another spot for it. And I was there the other day, and I don't know if you go to a game or you go to anything, there's not enough parking as there is, and that would end up chewing up a good portion of the parking. Either spot would, and we've never brought this up before, but it would chew up some more parking down and a complex in the back. And I just think, I'm not gonna do it without, probably talking to Willie and the committee first, but I think we should just bring it to a meeting at Minnesota.
Why don't we just make a motion right now?
Not here.
Decide where it's
I gotta make the
Building committee says.
building committee, and then
Send it to us.
send it to us, our recommendation. Because it's just,
The school's gonna be
yeah,
built.
exactly, and it's
Moved in.
getting ridiculous, and they should be happy they're getting a new school, and just, they'd be getting a new facility too, that would be better than the one they have now. It's just, I don't really understand what they're
Well,
arguing is.
you weren't at Board of Finance and it's turning to there really is a dividing line being, and it's becoming a wall between the school and the town, the Board of Ed and the town. What they did with their end of year surplus, beyond what was recommended by our board to cut out of their operating budget, beyond what was cut from their budget after the budget failed, they probably grabbed another close to $300,000 and spent it down before the end of the fiscal year. They had close to $700,000, and the end of year surplus is what, 40?
Yeah. Yeah, these three,
And they did it without coming to,
$694,120.
without coming to us, without coming to the Board of Finance, without any communication at all, they spent the money. So my comment at the Board of Finance the other night, and unfortunately you weren't filming it, was the heck with the building, we're done. I'm gonna tell them this is the building committee, recommend to the selectmen, put a DPW, that's it. We'll vote on it, we'll send it to the Board of Finance, go to the town meeting, we're done. Period, end of story.
Well, I can do that.
We're done. There's no, they've not only got in the sandbox, they've taken their toys and they've locked them up. So, no communication at all. Not even in the minutes of Board of Ed meetings, other than they made a motion to spend the money. They didn't line it out as to what they were spending on either, they just said spend the money.
Well, I spent $1.2 million in the last month, which is not all that unusual. I went back to see what they spent other, in the last. But they had quite a bit that was encumbered, which I presume I think I had 300,000 encumbered when I got my
Right.
first report.
Yeah, by June 30th, they encumber it, they can spend it.
Right, and then they said it was down to 200,000, so I guess they spent 100,000 on the encumbered money. So,
It's just,
but I think the thing is, they were embarrassed by all the surpluses, and and so their answer was to spend it down to avoid embarrassment.
Well,
like no
can
one's gonna
I
find out.
speak at this point?
You done?
I know it was, Board of Finance was pretty shocked and disturbed by this report of what the Board of Education had spent. I really don't know how to interpret that, but there was a big discussion of how to deal with the Board of Ed going forward into the next budget year, and Brad Sullivan himself brought up the MBR term a couple of times. And they were discussing perhaps, enforcing the MBR and going with the actual number of students and taking a much more conservative outlook, all the board except for one.
Well, they have a drop of 67 students this year.
Well, but they've had drops in that vicinity in the past, and they never,
Well, the drops get bigger and bigger.
yeah, they never took that into their budgetary considerations. It always is more of an emotional response than an intellectual response. And maybe this year, the Board of Finance will be a little more mindful of what the realities of the Board of Education budget are, whatever. So anyway, it was a very interesting meeting.